I've been wanting to do a video on our chicken coop for a while and post. Hopefully we'll have people view it and use some of our ideas if they will. Well, this is it. Got a big outdoor area. It's probably about 12 by 12, I believe. Pretty tall. I would say at least 9 foot tall. So you can fully walk inside of it. We got about 35 chickens, big ones for the big coop out here. I just recently did this about a week ago. Very convenient having that with this many chickens. They gobble the water down as well as food. 2x4 roost ladder for them. Got some troughs. Also got outdoor cameras so you can keep an eye on them. Got some lights up here for outside also at night. Solar powered. This was originally supposed to be our breeding coop. It still is. We got a bunch of babies right now. We hatched. That's the dad. This one, all these little brown ones, and the barred rock are the mothers of these babies down here. They're probably about a month and a half old, 2 months old probably. They're scared. It's pretty warm in here for them. Got a water heater, 3-gallon water heater underneath, heat lamp above. It's about 30 degrees outside. It's very warm. Just putting your hand in there for them. I've been opening the door. They kind of get curious and watch the older ones. They jump out sometimes, peck around. Got the tarp up to help with the wind gushing in, cold wind. Picked that up for like $100 and we redid it all. Redid the roof and all that. This whole coop we made from scratch. Pretty expensive to do, but it's nice. You can walk all the way in it. Probably about 8 foot. Oh, I can't remember. Maybe 10 feet wide, 8 foot long. Probably about 7.5 feet tall. You can walk all the way in it just fine. Got roosts all the way around. Got cameras to keep an eye on them. We only keep one light. It puts off a little bit of heat. It also helps keep that water from freezing. We clean it daily, every day. We had to clean that and all this. They like to roost up here. They roost all over. They pretty spread out. That's where they lay the eggs. And if it gets like sub-zero or so, we'll click that on. I got that hooked up to a Wi-Fi so I can do it from my phone. We don't really use that. We try to be as natural as possible and try not to have them rely on heat or light very much. Got the sliding barn door. Double latch. Use those right there. A little bit of decoration. Some signs. And there's the access to the eggs. And then this was a late add-on here with some leftover metal we had from another project. We use that to keep all the feed. Having, 35 plus the 9 chickens, and we also have 7 silkies inside, so we got 51 chickens. They go through about a bag a week, 50-pound bag, sometimes sooner than that, so I would say every 6-7 days they go through a bag. But yeah, that keeps it all dry back here. That's the gallon of poop that gets filled every day from the inside. Also got a rain water system set up. I highly recommend anyone with chickens or any type of farm animals, if you have the ability to set up a guttering system to one of these totes, this will save you so much freaking time. I mean, you open this thing up, and it does freeze though in the winter, but it gushes out. You can fill that up in less than 10 seconds, 5 gallons, compared to walking all the way down to the house, all the way back up. I mean, hell, it takes a couple minutes to fill that thing up. Plus, they're getting natural rainwater, so I think it's way better for the birds. So that's very convenient, and we actually used a lot of this on that barrel. That's why it's low. It was up pretty high. Plus, some of it gushed out. It was froze the other day. I left it open. It was barely coming out, and then it shot out. By the time I got up here, it already leaked out probably 40 gallons. But highly recommend that. It's a food grade tote, so it's perfectly safe for the chickens. If you buy one, make sure it's food grade. Also, obviously clean it out very well. But all I did on this was got the gutterings hooked up, elbowed it inside of here. One big rain, after all this snow melts, I mean, it'll probably, you know, it'll take it up a few inches probably. It goes up pretty quick. That's about it. We use 1x4s on this. And I used in case anyone's curious, a driveway sealer. That stuff's cheap. Probably 20 bucks for the whole barrel. And we still got a bunch left over, but most of this was painted with that, brushed on. It's been several months. It's starting to get weak in some areas, but we got so much. Once it gets warm out, we'll splash some more up there and hopefully keep all this wood from ever rotting out. Yeah, because none of that's treated. The posts are treated, concreted in. I think we went down 2-3 feet on the post. I'll show you guys this. Post. It looks like we went every 5.5, 6 feet. And then we use that cloth fencing. I can't remember what it's called exactly. And probably thousands of staples to hold that into place. I also went around the entire pen. You can't see it, but there's concrete all along the whole inside of this, as well as the outside. I forgot how many bags I bought, probably 10 bags or more. And I just went around spreading it all the way across. You can kind of see it there. Try to make it as predator proof as possible. Being out here, we do have coyotes, foxes, raccoons. We have had issues in the past with predators getting in. Oh, what else? Use this. This is an old throwaway gate from a rental I refurbished. Threw some paint on there, flipped it the other way, and works out pretty good. Everything's got locks on it. If you got any questions about my design I went with, let me know. It was pretty much all just done in the head, all the measurements and everything. Treated floor. We went with plywood, I think 3/4 inch. I can't remember. It was the thickest one they had. Maybe it was an inch. I don't remember. But definitely want to go with treated. A lot of piss and shit goes all over this floor. I can probably post some photos of the build at the end of this video. Kind of how it went together, in case anybody wants to do it themselves. If you're like me, just looking at a photo, you can figure out how it's put together. You can tell by stepping in here and out there, I mean, it's already a little bit warmer. There's no ventilation cutouts, but there's air gaps all around here. You got the big square there we always leave open. This was open, but we had some rainwater getting in, so we closed that. But I think there's plenty of air to escape, and plus we keep all this stuff cleaned off. Another thing I do is show you real quick. Mainly I do it to help with the chicken health and keep it from being real nasty. Is odor refresher. It's pretty much like a fine grain kitty litter. Neutralizes ammonia and odors. We recently started buying this because it's 35 pounds. Great sin. It's reusable coffee. Helps with odor and moisture and stuff. So we actually, I'll do it right now real quick. What I do is I get my little feed scooper. Just get a little scoop of it. They say you can use this for bedding. I use it for smell, moisture, odor, stuff like that. And then I just kind of spread it across, especially over the damp areas where they, you know, pee and they poop. Just kind of spread it around a little bit. I do this a couple days a week. I would like to think it helps keep them a little bit healthier and stuff. It's the dead of winter, and chickens are still laying pretty heavily. We probably got about the blue ones just started laying, but we average probably 10 a day, 10 to 13 a day probably, what we usually get, and that's with probably about 17 hens laying. Once all these babies start laying here in a couple more months, we'll probably be getting a couple dozen a day. The feed we give them, egg maker, 15 pellets, 15 protein, 3 fat. The only reason why we got all these is somebody was selling them $5 a bag, and they love it. They throw it down on this stuff. We keep the hay, bales of straw in here, keep it dry. That's about it. Hopefully this video isn't too bad and helps anybody out with some ideas on building their own. I put a little hammock in here, summertime. It's kind of peaceful to come out here, just sit and watch the chickens. For me it is anyways, so I probably won't use that no more though, since I got this water in the way. These water cups I got off of Amazon. They're cheap. I think you can get it for under 10 bucks for probably half a dozen or a dozen of them. I can't remember. You get several of them real cheap, and you can use those on any bucket, 5-gallon buckets. We had another one up until, like I said, last week, that I had this laying around. So fill it up and you won't have to worry about that for probably a month or two, depending on how many chickens you have. All right, that's it.